Hello, welcome. Sorry, I was running a few minutes late. Sometimes things don't always work out as I planned. Tonight I would like to do a discussion. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it, Cristola. I would like to do a discussion about a 1960 cold case that happened here in my own hometown. I will be showing like layouts of the land now. Of course, back in 1960, I can't exactly shoot for what the layout was. Hey, Miss Teely, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. This should be very interesting, guys, because let me tell you, while doing research the last probably month on this case, I really wanted to do other things with it. I wanted to actually go down or out around the town and actually get video of it. But of course, every time I have time off, the weather don't want to cooperate. It wants to pour down rain, and it's just been a mess. So we're gonna just Google Maps it, and we're just gonna go with it. But this case is, thank you for going live and saving me from my own thoughts. Hey, no problem. I don't mind at all. I appreciate you joining, and I'm hoping we can have a good discussion. So with that said, I am going to start with a few things that I want to read up, and we're going to start here. Gloria England, a 27-year-old woman that was murdered in 1960. She was reported missing on May 13th, which was a Friday, only to be found dead 2 weeks later, on May 23rd, 1960. Her sister and brother-in-law told the police they were out shopping when England got home. When they returned to the house on Baker Street, they found a note from her stating that she was going to the courthouse. Her bound, bludgeoned body was found floating in the Muskegon River downstream of Maple Island Bridge, snagged on a submerged log in Cedar Creek Township, 2 miles west of the Maple Island Bridge. And here I actually do have a recording that I did this morning. And of course I set everything up but my recording. I am sorry. Where did it go? I'm trying to find it. Hopefully that's not it. Okay, so this is what we're just going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to go about it in real time. I'm just going to pull it all up, okay? I appreciate everybody being here. Okay, let's see. So we want Maple. She was Maple Island from me is the Maple Island Bridge itself is a real big tubing like river, and the Muskegon River is and it's probably, I'd say, about 15 minutes from me, if that. Maple Island, we're gonna go with grocery. It was, at the time, I'm not sure, like, the obviously layouts of the land changed, but at least me being able to give you guys some kind of visual as to what I'm thinking of what I'm talking about, layout of the land. I really just wanted to go down and actually wanted to go live and show everything off, but it wasn't gonna happen that way, I see. That's not what I wanted. Not that one. You know, earlier, of course, it came up no problem, right? There we are. That's Mosquito Creek. Okay. Let me get back. Okay. Why does that? I'm trying to get to there. Like a foreverly long road, right? Okay. Here we go. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Okay. Everybody see this? Jump here. So this would be, if everybody can see it, let me make sure everybody can see what I'm looking at. Is everybody able to see that? This would be the bridge that they were talking about in what I was just reading. Let's do street view. Okay. So this would be upstream. This would be going towards like the Bridgeton area around me. This would be downstream. She was downstream. So I'm gonna actually go back out to terrain view. This. So my guess is Cedar Creek Township is gonna be down around here area. But okay, so if you notice, like none of this really has access, like roadwise access. It's maybe here, and then right here in between Bean Bard and this little like dirt road. So my guess is being 2 miles downstream. If we got our map, my guess is right here is where we were looking on the bridge. I accidentally clicked it, guys. Okay. So that's where we were. And now we're looking, I would say 2 miles down the road would probably be right in this area. She would have been found floating down the river, stuck on a log or whatnot. Just for an idea. And we're gonna save this because we're gonna come back to this. This is another proportion of this. We're gonna take that off for now, and we're gonna for our story time. Okay. Her wrists were bound behind her and fastened with a baling wire tied to her ankles. The wire had apparently been wrapped around concrete blocks to weigh down the body, but it had come loose, allowing the body to float downstream. My guess is that it sounds like she may have been just like thrown off the bridge that I was showing you because like from what she floated down the stream, you know. A woman who doesn't want her name or exact relationship published came forward recently after the local paper back in 2019 ran an article on Gloria's murder. She said she's still afraid of retaliation. That's why she didn't really want her relationship or yeah, her her relationship or knowledge of anything, her identity released. But she had strong memories and strong opinions about the killing of the pretty young woman she knew as Peach. She as she's a relative of England, a few years younger of the victim. They knew each other before the brutal murder. The woman doesn't want her name or exact relationship published. She's still afraid of retaliation. A little background: the Gloria England slaying was one of the most notorious crimes in Muskegon history. England, a recent recipient of an illegal abortion, was a key witness in a felony abortion prosecution. She was due to testify against the provider of the abortion just days after she disappeared. It was also a springtime of wild political turmoil in Muskegon County. A grand jury was investigating allegations of corruption, prostitution, gambling in the county, and much more. Separately, the Just County Sheriff was facing a criminal charge of assaulting a woman. Widespread rumors connected England's murder with scandals, with whispers of politically protected prostitution ring in the pearl of exposure of if she testified. But a large team of investigators from multiple agencies, led for a time by a respected state police detective, never established and never which never established a link. No one involved in the killing talked, and the physical evidence pointed nowhere in particular. But the relative told me Gloria England's family was always suspected the killer or the killers was connected with or at least protected by powerful people of the sheriff's department of that era. She has vivid, sad, troubling memories of the victim. The relative who would often visit the Muskegon Heights home of England's sister, because of the relative and the sister had small children the same age. England, a divorcee who didn't have custody of her own three children by two marriages, was living with her sister in the last months of her life. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna pop over to see if it has anything. Okay, I have to go. I will rewatch your live. I am very interested. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. I hope to see you again, Luann. Thanks for dropping in. Okay, so we'll go back. Okay. Mysterious people would often stop at the house. The relatives said people who wouldn't who people who wouldn't let themselves be seen by other visitors like herself. They always knocked on the door, always acted like it was and always like it was a secret. She said. She said that England never talked about her life. Gloria was very quiet and kept things to herself, she said. A relative is haunted by this the relative is haunted by this wistful memory. She sometimes brought her infant daughter to the house to where Gloria lived and would let her hold the baby. She would just lie on the bed and look at my daughter, she said. She remembers Gloria having beautiful eyes. After her death, I'd go to the bed at night and see those eyes. It was like she kept saying, "Help me." The murder rocked her family. It was horrible, the relative said. It hurt Gloria's mother, then about 60 years old. It was hard on her. The relative had hopes that the recently publicity would spur someone to come forward and help solve the 52-year-old case, and that hasn't happened at the time of this writing, nor still to this day. As stated earlier, England was the prime witness in a Muskegon County abortion case. In 1960, performing abortions was a felony against a Flint real estate broker named Earl W. Sales. England was due to testify against Sales at his preliminary examination in just a few days. Key witnesses in a felony abortion prosecution due to testify against the provider was just days after she disappeared. Widespread rumors connected England's murder with the scandals. What happened was she was having an abortion performed upon herself at a hotel in Whitehall area, which Whitehall is probably, I want to say, if I wasn't to give you my kind of driving time, I'd say about 40 minutes from me, maybe. My kind, I would say, I don't know, half hour. I don't know. But she was in a local hotel out that way, having the abortion performed on her, and a traveling salesman had overheard what was going on in the room next door to him. He then called the front desk to the hotel, who called the police, and the police showed up, and that is how she became their lead witness into the case against Sales for the abortion. Let's see. Let's go back here. I think I lost my stuff. Okay. So totally lost my stuff. Okay. As Knudsen, the recently appointed Young County Sheriff prosecutor, remembers it, Sales had performed an abortion on England at a Whitehall motel. Again, I just explained all of this. A traveling salesman in the room next door heard what was going on, notified the hotel staff, who called the police, and they were caught. England cooperated with the authorities. She was expected to testify against Sales in the preliminary hearing, but she never returned home, and she never returned home, and she never testified. After she disappeared, Knudsen recalled, the lawyer for Sales comes up to me grinning. Well, I understand you can't find your witness. Here I want to show some pictures of Gloria and Knudsen, the sheriff. Yeah. Let's share window. Here we go. And I got a layout of the course back then also. So there's that. This is Gloria back in her younger days. She's very pretty. Very, very, very pretty. Let's go here. This is her again. And again. Okay, and this right here would be the Knudsen. The sheriff, I think that's what they said. But this is him. They ran the preliminary hearing anyways, and a judge found probable cause to bind Sales over to the circuit court for trial basis on circumstantial evidence. So we're awaiting trial, Knudsen said, and I'm riding with the sheriff, Marion Calkins. They got a call that there was a body floating down the river. Some fishermen had seen the body near the Maple Island Bridge, so we drove over there. When Knudsen and Calkins got there, Their then under sheriff Harry Pennington, later sheriff, a later on sheriff, and another man were in a rowboat. Pennington pulled the body to a shore. So he pulls her out of the water, turns her over, finds her hands and feet bound behind her. Knudsen said, "We didn't know exactly who it was, but we got a sneaking suspicion as to who it was." A state police fingerprint check confirmed their suspicion. They found their missing witness. The obvious suspect was Earl Sales, the Flint man whom England was about to testify against. Investigators were also interested in the fact that Sales' wife was a Flint police officer. It's just so, I guess, I'm so amazed, like, all these, like, higher ups that are involved in this case. And it's just like nobody knows. I mean, I'm sure somebody knows, but the problem is it's probably a higher up that did this, and nobody's going to speak up, especially back in 1960, up against, law enforcement or, the bigger guys. Investigators were also interested in the fact that Sales's wife was a Flint officer. In a case like this, you have to go back and look for motive, Knudsen said. You have no other evidence that you can trace out, so you obviously could benefit. So who could obviously benefit from her death? And of course, Earl Sales was the obvious guy. But it wasn't enough. Sales was polygraphed twice. The second time, just before he was sent to prison to serve the 18 months to 4 years for performing the abortion, the 63-year-old was convicted at that time, even without England's testimony for circumstantial evidence for just him performing the abortion. He was sentenced to 18 months. Sales wasn't the only person of interest. In today's jargon, political gossip fed the Muskegon rumor mill in the murder investigation. Amongst the leads checked out and dismissed was a theory that Art Davis, the ex-sheriff facing an assault charge of assaulting a woman, might have been involved. He lived near Gloria's family members on Holton Road, which is, once we go back to the map, I can show you kind of where about Holton Road is and the layout of everything. There's also a few other things that I wanted to show on the map too. On Holton Road, Knudsen said. And guess what? Gloria England showed up missing on the very same day as Art got bound out of jail, Knudsen said. So all these conspiracy theories are floating around, but there's no evidence of that. The prosecutor himself wasn't exempt from the conspiracy theories, thanks to Gloria England's going to the courthouse note. I even heard a rumor that I had killed her, Knudsen said. Yeah, right. I want to kill my star witness. Now those were wild days. Nothing panned out. All leads exhausted. The task force eventually disbanded, and the investigation didn't end, but moved to the back burner, where it gradually cooled into the coldest of cases. And 52 years later, Gloria England's death remains one of Muskegon's most memorable unsolved mysteries. Police were able to state that she had left her job before returning back to her home. If I remember correctly, it was at Grossman's department store about 6 p.m. She complained of not feeling well, but yet she ended up leaving a note for her brother-in-law and sister stating that she was going to the courthouse, which is kind of, I don't know, mind-boggling, I guess, for me. I do have a picture of what was the courthouse. according to what everybody was said, this was the courthouse. Now this is a local historical building that they use, that is actually maybe a minute from my house. It is now a public um the public school place for all the local public schools. um I have no idea what this is. However, it's just been a whirlwind trying to research this and like try to understand everything. Hey, hi, Unbothered. How are you? I hope you're still here. Sorry, I wasn't exactly on looking at the comments. I was trying to read my notes and stuff that I had for this case. I do want to go back to the Google Maps because I wanted to show a few things. Are you guys able to see the map on StreamYard? No, not yet. Okay, so let's remove this one. Let's share this one. The fact that this happened like so close to my area, I guess, it just like, I guess it's mind-boggling and baffling and all those other things, you know. So here we are. We've kind of, okay, pull out this right over here. If you guys can see my mouse, I'm not sure if you can. No. Okay. Did I even share my screen? Probably not, because I don't remember doing it. It just flipped me over. Just booted me on over. Okay, so here we go. So if you, right here is the Maple Island Bridge, and this is where we were stating she was probably found around. We back out. Holton Road is right here. So we're not talking really all that far from the bridge to center out. Where would be okay, right here. So right here would be Holton Road, and right here would be your Maple Island Bridge. So we're talking just like maybe 15 minutes up the road, if that. Holton Road does go out ways. I do that. And was another one I want to go over. Because, let's see. I want to be, I know what I'm looking for. Gloria was buried. I gotta see where I'm at, like areas, okay? Oh my gosh. Okay. We're gonna be this way. Okay. Oh, we're out road. Okay, that's why. The map got turned a little bit. Let's see. We want here. Oak. We're looking for the Dalton. Here. There's what we're looking for. So here would be the cemetery. I wanted to this was one of the places that I really wanted to actually go, locate a grave, um, and show you guys, But with the weather, of course, and honestly, yes, I've driven past the cemetery many times in my lifetime. But I never actually stepped foot into this cemetery. So it would definitely take some time to go through all these multiple stones. And I guess right here was in September 2019. These photos here were taken to show this area, and I wouldn't even know where to begin to start probably looking. So it would take a minute. It would be one thing if I knew exactly where to go to, then, in the break of the brain, I could go there, but it's kind of, but this is out of that area that's in 2019. So we're talking about, it is like a rural-ish areas that all this had place. I can show you also came up missing in Muskegon. No, I want to change that because she came up missing on Baker Street. Just so that way, I mean, even obviously it was different then. They didn't really much of photo wise for any anything in the 1960s. Like 2019 is like the close. This here is in town. Where on Baker Street she lived, I can't exactly state. My guess is it's gonna be close to the courthouse if she was walking to the courthouse. So, let's see. If we were to follow this down closer to where the courthouse is, so any one of these houses really be that hers. Let's see. So here, Baker Street. Here. Hard to think that, I don't know. I would imagine all of our roads still being back in the 1960s, but I guess some things will never change. So right around here, the court at the time, I want to say there's Baker Street. That's the end of Baker Street. So you had to, I'm guessing right in this area because what is, I want to say the courthouse would have been, where's Webster? Anybody find Webster? Tell me where you find Webster. No, just, obviously. Where is it? Okay, up here. So yeah, it would have been either way. It's still been a walk for her to go to the courthouse at time, because let me tell you, right about here, I'm saying is the right here, Board of Ed. This right here, where what would have been the courthouse at the time. So you're looking from, oh good lord, let's see if we can zoom out to make it work. Okay, that still don't even work. Okay, so we can get on the same thing, same view. This was, I was baffled because I'm thinking that's a long walk. I don't know, just for me. So right here would be your Baker Street, and then you have the Board of Education down over in this area. And this is, like I said, probably a minute from my house, maybe, if that. But there's which was the house back then. So idea kind of all of that. From Baker Street to the bridge would be, from where she lived to the bridge, around about the area where they found her, I would say about half hour, 45 minutes drive. From there to this cemetery would be maybe 15 minutes. From the cemetery back into Muskegon area would be another 20 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on your driving speeds. But this is just a little bit of a case in history of my local area that has me kind of a little baffled and like trying to figure out what's what. Who could have done this? Is there anybody that may want to add their thoughts or anything to this? If anybody's still here and joining, if not, anything to this, I will probably end it here because this covers just about everything for here. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like their ideas as suspects is just mind-boggling. And I was talking with friends or like acquaintances, whatever you want to, I talked with many people about this and trying to go about like a logical like explanation, like how are they going to get her? Because if she left her home on Baker Street for the courthouse, that's if that's where she truly went or where she was headed to. Because I mean, obviously the family members said that she lived a pretty secretive life, so there's no telling if that's really where she went. But how, if she was walking, how would have somebody gotten her in their vehicle and got away with her? I mean, I've come up with different theories, I guess. I mean, if it was per se somebody else involved with the court case or the whole proceedings of it, I mean, maybe, hey, I'll give you a ride. I'm headed there anyways, kind of thing. And then instead of going there, they went elsewhere and they were able to then do it happen, you know. Um, I have no idea. If anybody has any thoughts, opinions, or would like to chime in any way, I'd be glad to carry on the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear any more fun little stories or not so fun little stories, because a lot of what I cover is not fun, but interesting. More so involves, I guess, I don't know. I'm lost for words, honestly. But if you guys want to hear any more, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Hit the notifications bell to all, so that way you can be notified of when I go live. And don't forget to like. You're more than welcome to share this out. Um, until next time, I will talk at y'all later. Bye, guys.